So speaking about dropping the pizza right in front of their face, I reached out to you because you do this, the way I envision it, intimate, very exclusive service called the Pizza Case. Am I describing that correctly, or am I completely off on that?
Pizza Case, yeah. So the idea is like, I'm not like the biggest devotee of like Japanese culture in the world by any long shot, but I appreciate the spirit that you find in Japanese culture, whether you call it shokunin or whether we talk about just like the concept of craftsmanship for its own sake, irrespective of, the external reward. And I mean, I've been to Japan, been there once, been to Tokyo once, and have seen this firsthand in all manner of things: coffee, tea, music, bar, pizza, sushi, retail. Like, and kind of my point of saying, like, when I'm sitting there just banging out pizzas and I'm feeling good about it, the guest is like sort of irrelevant. Like, that's kind of what I mean. And so I love the concept of omakase, which basically means you just let the chef do what he wants, right? Typically you might sit at a sushi counter and you get the omakase and you just back the fuck up and let him put the plate in front of you. That's the way I like to eat. If I don't absolutely trust the people that I'm trading money with, then I'm not sure why I'm there. It really furthers the narrative of the kind of restaurant that we want to be. I think being in the pizza space, and especially with pizza in our branding, that it can be tough for us to really feel like we can push the envelope. It's hard to find the balance. So I love the idea of this Pizza Case. And it basically just says to the guest, hey, listen, trust us, leave us alone, let us do our thing, and I promise you'll be more than satisfied. And so far, it's been great. I've had this idea for a little while, maybe a couple of months. I've been running this as a standard thing, both on our menu and guests can reserve. And so far, it's been awesome.
Can you describe just a night of service from the guest perspective, and maybe from yours, just from beginning to end? How does it look like?
For Pizza Case?
For Pizza Case.
The guest basically books. Typically, they book online. It's sort of like becoming a bit of a thing. So people talk about it, they put it on their social or, whatever, they tell their friends. And so most people book online. We've had a couple of people sort of randomly. It is on my menu, but I don't anticipate that's the likelihood. The only expectation the guest has is basically that they're going to get what we give them, right? I think the description of the Pizza Case tells the guest something to the effect of, right, in the spirit of Japanese omakase, just let us smash you with pizza and we'll go from there. So it's cool. I have basically I've got a counter in front of me. I've got a long, like maybe a 20-foot counter. I've got my saute and my garde-manger station, and the pizza station's right next to that at the end. So I basically reserved the 4 seats right in front of me, and those seats are reservable for Pizza Case. So the guest basically sits down, pretty basic standard, like we greet them, make sure they have some beverages. We offer them a wine pairing, which I can put together really pretty quickly, either on the fly based on what I determine I want to do, or maybe I've done it in advance. If there's really something that I think is interesting or fun or something I think is worth noting and doing in advance, I kind of like to do it on the fly. And then they just sit back. So we'll start with like a small little just plate, sort of like a starter or a small little appetizer. It could be just like the smallest little like 3-bite salad, or maybe some roast veg, or could be anything. Just 2-3 bites of food to get started, just like a little unexpected thing. They're expecting to get smashed with pizza. So if we can give them a couple of unexpected elements, that's good. Probably something that's either pretty seasonal from a producer we'd like to highlight, or just something fun that we're doing, typical kind of out of the box for pizzeria food. And then I'll just ask them, is there anything they don't eat, anything they're allergic to, anything that's got to send them to the hospital if I give it to them? And typically they'll say no, and then we just smoke them. We just feed them pizza until they don't want to eat pizza anymore. It's really perfect for like a deuce. So that's why I have those 4 seats in front of me. I can do a couple of deuces concurrently. Most people tap out probably around 3 pizzas, but certainly we've had guests that are just like, keep coming, right? And obviously if that's their spirit and if they're that into it, like, we're going to bring it just as hard for them. And the idea is that we just get to showcase like really whatever has us, like whatever we're excited about. So mostly that can be many things. It can be particular ingredients that we want to highlight. I do a lot of homages to pizzas I've eaten other places. I like to do that so that we can sort of show the guests like, okay, this is Neapolitan pizza, certainly that we're doing. I have my own way. If you want to eat, this is not also pizza that you're going to eat on Via Tribunale either. That pizza is very different than the pizza I'm baking right now. So why don't I make you Gino Sorbillo's pizza or Di Matteo's Portafolio, right? And I'll wrap it in paper and force you to eat it like a wallet right here at the table. Speaking of Tokyo, this pizza margherita from Savoy and Roppongi is like a very distinct thing that I'm very into. And so that would be like an idea of an homage pizza that we make. Pizza marinara al mare, like from Pizzeria Brandy, is something I've been doing recently that's just fucking delicious and bright and clean. And, you know, when you put a bunch of seafood on top of the pizza, people are like, they just don't know if it's going to be good. They're half skeptical. And so to surprise them is really interesting. We may do and have done like different styles within the realm of like things that you would eat properly. Naples, pizza fritta, pizza montanara in various capacities, pizza ventaglio, open the skin, douse it with a little bit of oil and salt and pepper and oregano, fold it, and then open it up, you know, like a big book kind of. Stuff it with ham and cheese and dressed salad and cut it and stack it, you know, like a fucking Bennigan's triple club or something, and smash it with Parmigiano Reggiano. There's so many things that I see in pizza that are exciting to me and quite frankly just give me a fucking hard on. Things I've eaten, things that I've seen on the internet, like things that I want to reproduce. Like we fuck around with squares. Sometimes they're grandmas, sometimes they're big, huge Sicilians, sometimes they're somewhere in between. And so we'll fold that into the mix, literally anything and everything. And it's so much fun because the guest really has no idea what's happening. For us to do enough varieties of essentially the same thing to keep their interest is a challenge and is fun. For us to open their eyes and say, okay, yeah, this is Gino Sorbillo's pizza. This is Savoy's pizza. This is Pizza Montanara. Here's a square. Here's a thing that I saw that these guys do. Pick a place at Che Fico when they just smash it with parm and smash the cornicione with fresh grated Parmigiano Reggiano. And then when that's all said and done, then we go, okay, this is our pizza. All right, so you've had this, we've had this, or we've showed you all these different techniques. Now let's just show you like the ultimate expression of how I want to make pizza and how we want to make pizza. And let them have, like, as best as we can in a short window of time, like an hour and a half, give them a really, frankly, reasonably educated perspective on this is why we do this. This is why we do this. Like this pizza I had at Savoy in Tokyo has like this crazy, interesting story behind it. So I get to tell them a story. For me, there's always a story, right? So it's like if I'm making Gino Sorbillo's pizza, there's a story that's attached to that. If I'm making my story with certain local ingredients or something that's really exciting me seasonally, there's a story to tell about that, about where it comes from and who the producer is and why I think it's interesting. There's just so many layers to the interaction with the guests, and they're literally 2 feet in front of me. And like, I'm handing them their pizza, I'm telling them everything about it, I'm pouring their wine for them, I'm telling them why the wine works with the pizza. It's just like so much fun. It's so interactive for us, like it's so interactive for the guest, and typically it's like home run. So much, like it just sort of popped up in my head one day and I said, oh, this makes perfect sense and let's do this. And yeah, ever since then, it's been awesome. It just feels like it's like the best expression of what we do. And for the guests to trust us enough to go for it, right? I mean, this is like North Carolina. So we're like, you're going to pay $50 a head plus alcohol. Like these people are paying almost $100 a head when you include tax for us to give them pizza. And so in my world, like obligation is a positive word. And so for me, it's a real like beautiful obligation that we have now to really deliver on the trust that these people put in us. And the human component of it is awesome. And to see people be enthused or excited or to learn something or to come back at me with questions about why is this like this, or why did you do this, or why did you bake this other pizza that way and you baked this one this way? Why did you open this pizza up or handle it like this, but the other one you did it this way? It's just, I don't know what to tell you. It's awesome. It's awesome. And then at the end of the meal, like we'll give them another little unexpected bite, like a 2-bite dessert. And that's kind of it. Like that's the deal. So they'll sit down, probably takes them about 90 minutes. So it's a nice, like leisurely meal with a bunch of cool surprises and a fully engaged host. It's awesome. It's so awesome. I'm so happy about it.